Today on Sports Around the Bar, we are talking about a great college football matchup on week 0, Drew. Number 1 versus number 3.
Why at 11 o'clock? For God's sake, why?
Like I was saying, I'm Jake, this is Drew, and we are actually talking college football for a change, Drew. I mean, is that what things have come to as we're waiting for the NFL season to start?
Yeah, it has. It's that bad. It's not bad.
I mean, no, not when you're talking about this matchup. Number 1 versus number 3 in the first week of the college season. I mean, I know we had the international game, which was also pretty good. They've been doing that. They've been doing that where they've been having.
What was good about that game
now.
exactly, just to clarify?
I mean, not the stadium. The grass looked terrible.
All the fumbling that they did.
It was football that meant something. That's what was amazing.
Kansas State lost to Ohio State.
Iowa State. You just got Ohio State in the break.
I do.
Yeah. I thought it was a decent game from a neutral perspective. I was watching it all the way through, and I think I was glued to the TV because there's meaningful football in August.
It is.
We're spoiled in the sense of it. We're now getting, at the beginning of the season, games like this. Are we really segueing into Kansas State, Iowa State? Because we can talk about that if you want, but I'm here to talk about number 1 versus number 3 in the first week of the season. Are you kidding me?
It's so crazy, man. I mean, it gives both of these teams an opportunity to play a top talented team, and if they take a loss here, which we know from whatever week it is later in the season, is not going to matter that much, right?
I will forgive this, you stealing my thunder, because I literally stole your thunder in the last episode, but that was my point, dude. We talked about this before we started. No, absolutely. I think the genius of this, Drew.
You're not the only one that thinks that way, Jake.
I think the genius of this is that both of these teams now have a very, very excellent kind of catch-22 of, well, if you lose this game, you're going to come out and say, it was week 1. You can't hold that against us. We weren't ready to play. And if you win, you're like, we beat number 1 or we beat number 3. We absolutely deserve to be at the top of the leaderboards because we've won this impressive game. You really have nothing but upside here scheduling this early, not to mention the money it can generate.
Oh, absolutely.
This versus scheduling, I don't know, ETSU your first week. Sorry, ETSU. There's just such a difference between scheduling a game that is this predominant in terms of what's going to turn up and the media coverage you're going to get versus scheduling some money game like most teams are going to be doing this week, if they're playing at all.
Right. You get the last year's national championship game team going against arguably one of the most sought-after quarterback recruits in college football in the last, 5 years?
Forever.
Archie Manning.
His name is Manning.
Hey, yeah. It's huge to put these guys on the field. I know that a lot has changed, and I don't want to get into that too much, but you got Ryan Day and Steve Sarkisian going against each other. Two
heavyweights now. I still don't.
I was going to say up-and-coming heavyweights, but then
one's
already won a national championship. One's like turning an organization around.
Yep. Sarkisian's been around the block long enough. I think we can call him a heavyweight, even though I think both of them are kind of riding on the coat. I know they're both heading up these great programs, and I'll say this about Sarkisian. He's turned Texas around, but we've also seen him just absolutely – I can't say that. We're PG. We've seen him flub his earlier jobs at USC. He really did not do a great job for the Atlanta Falcons when he was their offensive coordinator. So we've seen him stumble a lot. But now that he's in Texas, I don't think anybody can deny he's helped turn that program around that has been floundering for, since Mac Brown left? I mean, it's been more than a decade that they've been trying to figure out what comes next, and Sarkisian is the answer. So between that and then Ryan Day, who I've been very critical of, I think Ryan Day up till last year has disappointed mightily. But, They got the job done. They finally got their national championship, and what's more, they managed to come out over top of all of those teams in the SEC. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just the new cream of the crop in terms of college football now that Saban is gone. But both of these coaches, I think you have to talk about them being in the conversation for top coaches in the NFL.
So we've both talked about this before we started this episode, and both teams have taken huge losses in the NFL draft.
Yes.
They got both new quarterbacks, and Archie Manning and Julian Sand. Which team has taken the largest loss? Which team where you go, this is not the same team as last year, and they're ranked way too high?
Oh, I mean, neither of them are ranked way too high. I think this is a situation where you might very well see this matchup again in the playoffs. Whether it's early, whether this is the final.
Thank God for college playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that's a great situation to be in, too, because the best teams should play each other. But this is one of those ones where both of these teams are used to losing this kind of talent. Both of these teams, even though they've been depleted, are just going to replenish. The pipeline continues. The only question I have is that going to continue to be the case with the way the NIL works, where now you have some of these smaller schools that are starting to siphon talent away from the big guys because I'll pay you $2.5 million to be my starter as opposed to $1.5 million to go sit on the bench behind somebody at Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean,
does the diffusion of talent really mean that this is, we're going to see a great change where games like this are going to become less meaningful, where the talent's going to spread out, where 1 versus 3 doesn't mean anything because the difference between 3 and 13 isn't as wide of a gap as it is right now in college football.
Yeah, I mean, I keep on denying ESPN, CBS from them trying to get me for $2.5 million. I keep telling them no. Sports Around the Bar is paying me way too much to go there.
Yeah.
So
we have that contract signed in blood. Just
yeah,
so you.
Yeah. So I'm not going nowhere anytime soon. They can throw all that money at me. No, This is the reason why college ball is hard for me to enjoy as much as I love the NFL. And I know everyone's gonna be like, "What? You're crazy! College ball's a thing." I've never had a college team where I'm like, "That's my team."
You just railed for Kansas State's sake.
Still,
I was just saying.
Born in Kansas.
That's fair. That's
not
fair.
really a Kansas State fan. Somehow I'm an Iowa Hawkeye fan, but not really. Like, I guess I had to pick a team. That would be my team because a really good friend of mine went to college there. So, like, he made me a fan of them. But I don't follow them like I do the NFL or any other team. But that is an issue I've always had with college is when you lose all those players and you bring in young players like this, it depends on how you recruit and how you bring everyone in. And both these organizations are huge colleges that a lot of high talented high school players are like, I want to go there. How important is it to see someone like Archie Manning taking this step and Texas stealing it from a bunch of other colleges? I can't imagine that the letters and the phone calls that Archie Manning and his parents got prior to this.
Yeah, and I just think it never would have ended all the way up until the point where he actually spent his first day at Texas, where it's like, you're probably getting all these schools. I mean, even this offseason, now with the NIL stuff, you can steal some of these guys. You think, how many phone calls do you think they fielded saying,
changes the game.
Come on over here, we'll give you whatever number. Here's your blank check. Our booster said, whatever number you put on here, we'll find a way to pay it.
Yeah.
Just to going back to your point, Arch Manning is the X factor here just for the sake of, if he has a great season this year, there's a very good chance he's number one in the college or in the NFL draft at the end of the season, being a redshirt sophomore. Redshirt sophomore.
And he could be a Titan. Wouldn't that excite you?
Yeah, back-to-back number one quarterbacks. Yeah, I mean, we could have the deepest quarterback room in the NFL.
If not, he's going to be a saint.
That very likely,
just like
too.
his grandfather. So
yes.
It would work out.
Yes. Then again, if the Saints have the first pick, does he stay in college? Because he's like, I know what that organization's like. Are you going to treat me like you treated Drew Brees? I don't know.
You're just preaching Chris Olave's talent. I was too. Maybe that's where you go.
Yeah, because good thing. Well, what else do they need? Kamara's like 32, 33. I mean, they need an entire offensive line overhaul, pretty much. Their defense is old. Yeah, probably all needs to go, and expensive.
Fine wine.
Yep. Sure.
We're not talking NFL.
Okay,
we'll get lost up in this.
As far as the Ohio State game goes, I guess even more than the meta sense of it, Drew, do you think we're going to start seeing more of these games scheduled early where you have that built-in excuse of, well, losses in September don't count the same way, and I guess August in this case, don't count the same and don't have as much weight as losses in October or November when the team is going. Is there something to that?
I think there's something to it when you have these names. When you have Jason Day in Ohio State, who just won a national championship, and then you have the number one recruit in Archie Manning, where it was like it makes sense to get this out kind of early.
Sure.
Because it would be devastating in later in December or wherever.
Yeah, and by then you're locked into conference play. I mean,
right.
There's not really many weeks. Like sometimes you'll have certain weeks that are like bye weeks.
So the answer is yes, especially when you have names like this.
Yeah, and I actually agree. I think part of it too is just the money that it generates is too much to be ignored in terms of the NIL, where it's like if you can schedule these games, yes, you're still going to be doing some revenue sharing with what comes off of it, but scheduling a Texas versus Ohio State game versus ETS, versus Texas versus, East Texas or North Texas or somebody that doesn't matter, the money is just insanely different. I mean,
you mean Alabama versus Mercer doesn't excite you?
Well, even to their credit, Alabama's kind of started this trend where like they were maybe not started. I'm sure there's some college fans who are like, actually, Jake, before that they were, but like they played Wisconsin.
I don't even know if Alabama's playing.
Well, I don't know about this year, but they played Wisconsin early in years past when Wisconsin was good. Like they have almost created this sort of go find a good team because you have that built-in excuse of if we lose, it's not our fault because it's early. Can't hold that against us. So, yeah, I mean, I know some of their money games
I
are
take
really
that
bad.
back.
Some of their money
Alabama's
games
playing Florida State University.
well, it's same thing. Like, you used to never see this.
Yeah, no,
you used to never see this.
It'd be like Mercer. I think it was one year.
North Texas actually is one that they played. They started playing, was it USF, University of South Florida, where it's like, I like their logo, but other than that, I mean, what else they got going on? Yeah, dude, again, Alabama, I will say, to their credit, we talk about the easy money games they play, and when they pick a money game, they know how to pick them.
Oh, yeah.
But they have also done this before in the past where they have picked a couple tougher games, and they have played them, and this might be the advent. I think, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think Alabama was one of the pioneers of this, Drew, where they were one of the teams that started to pick these early battles that actually mean something and has changed the landscape in college football. So do you want to pick a winner? Are we that bold? Because I don't think it's really fair in college. You've had so much turnover, and it's so early in the season. You haven't got to see any of these guys play. Both of these teams have new quarterbacks. You know, Ewers is gone. Howard is gone. Are you bold enough? Do you really want to hammer it down for all our bettors out there, all our degenerates? Do you want to pick? You going to tell me how this is going to go?
I mean, I think you take Texas. I think that you got to just betting on or not betting on a Manning is kind of dumb. I think that's just who you bet on at this point. I don't know if I believe in Julian Sayin. I don't know if I believe that Ryan Day can turn another team around. I'm not big on Ryan Day either.
Yeah.
So
I mean, last year was kind of where he answered a lot of the doubts, I think. But the question is, can you keep it up? And the pressure will be on, I think, still to prove that he can be a caliber of a coach that's worthy of Ohio State. You know, we didn't really say this when they had Urban Meyer. We weren't really saying that. I think Ryan Day, up until last year, has really underperformed. So the question is, does that dominance continue or do they fall off? I am going to go also with Texas, even though I think this is one of those games that really is like flip a coin.
Yeah.
Like, I think both of these teams are that good, and it's so early that this matchup, like 10 weeks after this, 10 weeks from now, might be entirely different. And we're like, wow, we know so much more about these teams. This early, this many new players for all these teams. Give me Texas on the coin flip. Like, just because I think,
what was it?
Like you said, with Arch.
ESPN had it at 50-50, right?
Virtually. It was like 53-47, I think. Yeah.
Just to clarify, on week 2, Alabama plays UL Monroe.
Yeah, exactly. They know how to pick their money games. They know how to relax too. You know, they know how to show up when stuff gets serious, but they know how to relax.
Stop me if you've heard that name.
I do know who UL Monroe is. Yeah, some of us like college football, Andrew.
Hey, I like it.
I know you do. But yeah, let us know in the comments down below, who do you think is winning this matchup, and is it smart to play a big school early? Is that something that makes sense, or is this something that might be a fad that kind of goes out of vogue before too long? Let us know in the comments what you think.
Guys, remember to hit thumbs up, subscribe, like, whatever you're watching us on. Please,
wherever you're watching, help us out, please.
Please remember that helps us grow.
We're not above begging.
No, we are. Just remember to hit that button, man. We really appreciate it. It means the world to us.
So for Sports Around the Bar, I'm Jake. This is Drew. Enjoy the great start to college football, because then we're going to have a little bit of a dip the next couple weeks. Like I said, Alabama, UL Monroe. There's going to be some money games in that. Don't worry, college still has its money games.
Yeah.
For everybody who is worried about not getting to watch their team beat up on somebody. But for Sports Around the Bar, we will see you guys next time.
See ya.